Good evening, I'm Matt Woodman. This is CTV News at 5. Tonight, stranded in Mexico, Edmontonians wondering when they can come home as gang violence erupts. More dollars for doctors. The province says it plans to spend a record-breaking amount hiring new physicians. And postponing construction, why the city is moving at least 2 major projects to the back burner.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Matt Woodman.
Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister says the violence in Mexico is expected to subside in the coming days. This comes as thousands of Canadians are questioning when they can come home after canceled flights from Puerto Vallarta. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti joins us now, and she's been speaking with Edmontonians in Mexico today. Miriam, what did they have to say?
Well, Matt, one tourist I spoke with says she and many other Albertans are stuck at a hotel waiting for any word on when they can get back home.
This is one of the explosions at Marina.
This is what Farah Saunders woke up to Monday morning in Puerto Vallarta. She and her husband left the resort to get breakfast and saw a fire in the distance.
We just seen a bus that had exploded. It wasn't just a normal fire. The Starbucks was getting ready to shut its doors. We quickly learned it was the cartel.
Saunders is one of many tourists stuck at a resort. Widespread violence erupted after the Mexican army killed the leader of a major drug cartel on Sunday. The violence leading to Canadians being advised to shelter in place.
They need to stay inside, listen to government, listen to the reports, and wait to find out when this has been cleared up. It might take a few days.
CTV's public safety analyst is vacationing near Playa del Carmen. He says while it's normal to be nervous, tourists shouldn't worry.
The tourists aren't a threat. The tourists are only a threat to be harmed if they get in the way or they get in the middle.
While the violence hasn't reached his area, many people are feeling on edge.
Of course it's anxiety-provoking. Of course it's scary.
Billet has been a snowbird in Puerto Vallarta for 30 years and has only seen this type of response during a natural disaster. This is the view from his apartment, smoke and helicopters flying by.
A lot of trauma bouncing all over the town, a lot of anxiety, a lot of damage.
But he's making the most of it with his neighbors.
We're sharing our groceries and we're sharing our booze because we're all stuck at home. Yesterday afternoon, a whole bunch of us went down and played bingos.
He's scheduled to come home in April, but will return earlier if the Canadian government advises it. Saunders will have to stay until flights out of Puerto Vallarta resume.
Nobody knows anything. We're just kind of stuck here. There's many of us Albertans in our hotel that are just waiting.
Well, all flights have been canceled between Edmonton and Puerto Vallarta today. The vacation city's airport currently shows one scheduled flight departing to Edmonton tomorrow afternoon. Matt?
All right, Miriam Valdez-Carletti live in studio tonight. Thank you. The Alberta government plans to boost healthcare spending in the next budget to what it calls historic levels. As CTV's Amanda Anderson reports, not everyone on the front lines believes money will fix the healthcare crisis.
Overcrowding and long waits have long plagued Alberta's healthcare system, even leading some doctors to say several patients have died while waiting for care after going to emergency rooms.
We have a long history.
Today, the Premier announced a financial boost for healthcare in the province.
As part of Budget 2026, we will be spending $7.7 billion paying physicians. This is an increase of $1.4 billion, or 22% more than last year, and the highest amount in the province's history.
Money that will go towards physician compensation to not only attract new doctors, but keep the ones we have.
I think we got to a really good place in our negotiations with nurse practitioners and family doctors, but now we have to work through all of the different specialties, and part of that is going to be looking at where we are relative to the number of specialists in other large provinces, and whether there are some that we need to do more attraction for and others where we're doing just fine.
The province says there are 13,000 doctors licensed in Alberta, up from about 10,000 10 years ago.
This is about a 50-50 split with family medicine and specialists. Not to say that we don't need more, particularly as we're aging and as our population grows, etc. But we have been very successful in recruiting in a lot of those disciplines.
Are those 13,000 working full-time? Are they working part-time? Are they working at all? And what kind of medicine are they practicing? I'll tell you, we're short of emergency doctors.
Longtime emergency room doctor and former MLA Raj Sherman welcomes the money, but says it's not entirely the solution.
We always welcome more money into healthcare, but we want to make sure targeted and put in the right areas, it's well utilized, it's not wasted, and that it's is going to actually achieve the outcome, which is better and faster access to quality healthcare for Albertans.
The funding, which is part of the upcoming budget, will still need to be approved. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
And CTV News will have full coverage and analysis of the Alberta budget on Thursday, February 26th. The budget itself will come down at about 3:15, and we will bring you comprehensive coverage of where the money is going and what it means for you on our website, ctvnewsedmonton.ca, as well as on CTV News at 5 and 6. At least 2 more recall petitions against Alberta politicians have failed. The petitioner, targeting Alberta's Indigenous Relations Minister, Rajan Sawhney, says the campaign gathered roughly 3,400 signatures. It needed 15,000 to move forward. The campaign against Miles McDougall also says it fell short after collecting roughly 25% of the signatures it needed. The petitions against St. Albert-Morinville MLA Dale Nally and Red Deer MLA Jason Steffen have also failed after falling well below their required signatures. So far, none of the recall petitions against MLAs have succeeded. A question on Alberta's future in Canada may be added to October's referendum. On her radio call-in show Saturday, 2 callers asked the Premier what she would do about the Forever Canadian petition. More than 404,000 signatures have been collected in response to the question, do you agree Alberta should remain in Canada? The Premier says this week a bipartisan committee will be struck to examine the petition.
It may well be that they make the decision to put it on the ballot in October, or it may be that they make the decision to put it to a vote in the legislature. But it's a legal issue because the petition language calls for a referendum, and I think a lot of citizens signed it on that basis. So we have to do a little bit more study on that one.
In his statement, the petition's author, Thomas Lukaszuk, says, quote, we believe that there is no need for divisive, politically motivated referenda, but if there is a referenda, the Forever Canada question should be on the ballot, end quote. A survey by Angus Reid is providing a little insight as to how the rest of Canada feels about the Alberta separation debate. The survey shows if it were possible, 79% of Canadians would block Alberta separating. While Canadians don't have a vote, a constitutional amendment for provincial separation would need the approval of at least 7 provinces representing 50% of Canada's population. 1/4 of Canadians believe Alberta's provincial economy would improve with separation. 61% say it would have a negative impact. Nearly half of respondents also believe the United States would use economic or political means to compel Alberta to join the U.S. The survey is accurate to 3 percentage points, 19 times out of 20. People are still being asked to avoid the area of an early morning fire in central Edmonton. The fire broke out on 103rd Street and 97th Avenue just before 4 o'clock. Heavy smoke was pouring from the building while crews worked to extinguish the flames. 2 people were taken to hospital. The fire shut down traffic heading west on 97th Avenue and south on Bellamy Hill. Edmonton police say they've been advised fire crews are still there, and they're asking drivers to avoid the area while they work. The city has ended its parking ban earlier than expected. The parking ban for major roadways ended Sunday morning, a day earlier than scheduled. Plows and scrapers will now start in residential areas, grooming and leveling out driving lanes and plowing alleys where necessary. Residential work is expected to last up to 2 weeks. The city says it's not planning to implement a neighborhood parking ban at this time. The city's extreme weather response will end tomorrow at noon. That means tonight will be the final night with an expanded overnight shuttle service. City facilities and libraries will remain open during regular hours for anyone who needs to warm up and get away from the cold. The city says it will reactivate the extreme weather response later this week if temperatures drop. Well, Josh, I'm not sure if there's been a little bit of improvement out there. It still feels cold to me anyway.
Yeah, this was one last cold day. I do think they may want to reactivate it for Friday night. Friday, Saturday, there's another cool down coming. But squeezed between today and Friday, there is a nice little warm up. -13 in Edmonton right now, -12 to -15 outside the city. Wind pretty light, so no real significant wind chill out there. And lots of cloud cover through the day today, as well as some light snow earlier in the day. Look, it started the day at -21, -12 for a daytime high today, which is on par again with the average overnight lows. Average is about -3. We'll be back into that territory, it looks like, tomorrow. So here's the first half of the month, way above average and above zero for most of those days. Today now, the 7th consecutive day, not just in the blue and colder than average, but the 7th consecutive day where we didn't get above -10. Should get above -10 pretty easily tomorrow, about -3 or -4 for a daytime high, and then Wednesday, Thursday above 0 for daytime highs. We've got some snow getting set to move into the Red Deer region here. There was the snow that moved through the Edmonton area. Looks like most of the city picked up. It was big, fluffy snowflakes, so it wasn't a real significant dump of snow, but there was some accumulation in a couple areas. Northeast of the city, you're still seeing some snow coming down right now, and that may amount to maybe 1 or 2 centimeters worth of snow. Here in the city, though, just cloudy skies overnight tonight. Another chance of some flurries or light snow tomorrow morning. About -12 by tomorrow morning as temperatures start to climb overnight tonight. And then about -3 or -4 with mostly cloudy skies tomorrow afternoon. Closer look at that, the warm-up that continues for Wednesday, Thursday, and then the big cool-down once again for Friday, Saturday, all in just a few minutes.
All right, Josh, thank you. Coming up next on CTV News, the provincial government steps in as a town north of Edmonton runs out of money.
Tuesday on Your Morning, the best this city has to offer, and your vote could make the difference. Cast your ballot, show your local pride when we reveal a new category in the Edmontonia Awards.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
The CTV drone powered by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
You're watching CTV News at 5.
The city says no new major road construction projects are beginning this year, and traffic congestion should ease up in the fall. Still, as CTV's Nicole Weisberg reports, there's a lot of projects that need to be finished, prompting the city to put at least 2 on the back burner.
Construction marred Edmonton roads last year with major projects including the Valley Line West, Yellowhead Trail freeway conversion, and Imagine Jasper Avenue in full force. This year, projects like these will continue, meaning another busy construction season. Adding to the challenges, Edmonton's growth. City staff say between 2023 and 2025, we saw about 80,000 new drivers. And
pre-pandemic travel patterns increasing, which has a direct consequence in increasing our peak hour congestion.
To assess the impact of this year's projects, staff completed traffic modeling. It forecasts improvements on portions of the Yellowhead, 104th Avenue, and White Mud Drive. It also forecasts increased congestion on 215th Street, 50th Street, and 41st Avenue. As well, it anticipates relief this fall with the expected completion of the Wellington Bridge, 95 Avenue construction, and Stage 2 of Terwilliger Drive expansion.
Last year was the perfect storm with a number of our major projects overlapping, projects that just couldn't be delayed any further happening at the same time.
The city is looking to prevent that from happening again. It has delayed work that was supposed to happen on the low-level bridge until 2027. As well, work EPCOR was supposed to do on 107th Avenue.
In that area where maybe we still have to have 2 parallel roadways closed down at the same time or under construction at the same time, maybe instead we say, let's close this one down in its entirety, work on it 24/7, get it done, and then once that's done, you move on to the other road.
Council and staff are also vowing communication on projects and detours will be improved and are investigating new ways to reach people. Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
The town of Gibbons is getting provincial support after running out of money. The government is giving the town $500,000 after Gibbon reached its debt ceiling of $13 million and drained its reserves. Town council says this money will keep it afloat until the next tax period. The town is also allowed to defer some of its debt payments. The province is looking at the town's finances and conducting a viability review to see what the future of Gibbons could look like.
To determine a viable solution, whether that is the ability to remain a municipality or whether dissolution actually is an option, and what that looks like for our community members.
The town says it is working with the province on hosting a town hall before the summer. CTV News reached out to the Municipal Affairs Minister for the province. His office declined an interview. In a release Friday, though, Dan Williams says he has already met with the Gibbons Mayor and Council and the Mayor and Council of Sturgeon County to discuss the next steps. Still to come tonight on CTV News, Albertans begin signing a petition against coal mining in the Rocky Mountains.
we have a long-term goal to protect the province.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Firefighters who braved freezing temperatures during a rooftop campout have surpassed their fundraising goal. 5 firefighters climbed onto the roof of Fire Station 2 in downtown Edmonton last Wednesday. They camped out there in frigid temperatures, needing donations to receive essentials like tents, sleeping bags, and camping equipment. Their goal was $71,000. They ended up raising more than $85,000 for Muscular Dystrophy Canada. The firefighters came back down Friday evening around 5 o'clock. Josh, I was there to visit them on Thursday. I don't know how they did it because I was bundled up, gloves, hat, all that. My hands were freezing after an hour.
Like, you're a wimp, Woodman. You're a wimp.
They probably wish they held it later this week when we're going to see temperatures warm up a little bit.
Yes, it is going to warm up back above zero, it looks like, for Wednesday. Thursday, long-range forecast looks fairly mild as well. The Friday, Saturday forecast is kind of a return to where we've been these last 7 days. We're at minus 13 right now. As you look through the Action Furnace River Valley Skycam, Action Furnace fixed right or it's free. Mostly cloudy skies after a bit of light snow earlier today. Minus 16 is Fort McMurray, Cold Lake. Minus 17, Lloydminster. That's really sort of the only part of the province that's had anything in the way of significant wind, 15 to 20 kilometers per hour. So it's been feeling in the mid-minus 20s in eastern Alberta. Not much wind chill in Edmonton. Same for Grand Prairie. Look at Jasper's at +1 already. There's some snow getting set to move into the Red Deer region. So you'll see a little bit of that over the next few hours. This pocket here will slide off to the east-southeast of the Edmonton region. So just mostly cloudy skies for the rest of this evening and overnight. Tonight here in the city, I think south of the city, after midnight, you may actually see a few more pockets of flurries or light snow in the Red Deer region, and there's a slight chance for the Edmonton area early in the day. You notice it's not a big system, though. Most of the snow tomorrow and again Wednesday will be across northern parts of the province. There's a series of low-pressure systems that'll slide across the north. That'll produce, in some spots, maybe a good 10 to 15 centimeters worth of snow in northern Alberta. For us here in Edmonton, the big story is the warm air that gets sucked in from the south-southwest out ahead of those low-pressure systems. So there's your mild trend for tomorrow, back to about -3 or -4. Watch the green zone take over for Wednesday and Thursday, not just here in Edmonton, but across most of central, north-central Alberta, and then we could even see some double-digit daytime highs in the south. So Wednesday, Thursday warm, and then the cold Arctic air slides back in for Friday and Saturday, but it's going to be short-lived. It's only Friday, Saturday, -14, -10, and then we're back close to zero by Sunday. And somewhere around average, looks like, for most of that first week of March. So a break from the cold temperatures we've had over the last week or so. Mid-minus teens through this evening. Temperatures climbing overnight tonight. Slight chance of some flurries early tomorrow morning. Be in the -3 or -4 range with mostly cloudy skies and light wind tomorrow afternoon. Back above zero for daytime highs Wednesday, Thursday. We do have to keep a close eye on Thursday, though. Chance of some rain or wet snow. So depending on the timing of this and the cold air that gets sucked in behind that, roads Friday morning could be brutal if this does play out. So we'll eyeball that for the next little bit. Enjoy the warm-up, though, in the next couple of days. A short-lived cool-down for Friday, Saturday, back into the -10 to 15 range, and then fairly mild for temperatures right through the first week of March. So I apologize that it was a little cold once again today, Matt, on your birthday, but your present comes over the next couple of days. You're back into some warmer temperatures Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Josh, at least I had the guts to show up on my birthday. You were gone last week for yours. Thanks very much. A group trying to stop coal mining in the Rocky Mountains has started canvassing across the province.
You know, there's so much push for development and not enough push for preservation of these natural resources. So, I support it. I'm with y'all.
Albertans lined up to sign the petition, including here in Edmonton. The No New Coal Mining Initiative is headed up by country singer Corb Lund. The petition calls for the government to introduce legislation prohibiting any new coal mining activity, including a proposed mine in Crow's Nest Pass.
It's really about the runoff into our waterways and what that does for agriculture, fishing, tourism, farmers. Right? And so it's very short term looking at coal, but we have a long-term goal to protect the province.
Lund's group has until June 10th to collect more than 177,000 signatures. When we return, winger turned writer, why Oilers forward Zach Hyman was reading to kids at West Edmonton Mall.
I always loved reading and writing. I had a big imagination as a kid.
CTV News at 5 continues.
Still ahead on CTV News at 6, collecting signatures abroad. The separation petition heads south to Albertans vacationing in Arizona. Also ahead, frustrations from some people who couldn't find any information about where to sign a petition to recall a Lethbridge MLA. Those stories and more on CTV News at 6 with Jeff Hastings. Team Canada may have lost the gold medal hockey game, but there is a silver lining for Oilers captain Connor McDavid. He's been crowned the MVP and top forward at the Milan Cortina Games. The Edmonton Oilers captain led the tournament with 13 points in 6 games, scoring 2 goals and adding 11 assists. McDavid now holds the points record among NHL players at any winter games. There were also 3 Canadians named to the All-Star team, with Cale Makar and Macklin Celebrini joining McDavid. The Edmonton Oilers are set to return to action on Wednesday. Still no official word when McDavid might be back in the lineup. Oilers forward Zach Hyman performed in front of a different crowd over the weekend.
Holy Toledo, that must have gone 100 miles an hour, said one referee to the other. That kid's got a cannon.
Oilers winger Zach Hyman read his own children's book to families at West Edmonton Mall. Hockey Hero was written in 2015. Ticket sales from the event were donated to the Edmonton Public Library's Early Literacy Initiative. The program offers resources to families with young kids. Hyman says Hockey Hero is about a special relationship between a grandson and his grandfather and the power of believing in yourself.
I always loved reading and writing. I had a big imagination as a kid, and I try to promote literacy and try to promote reading and writing. Just the age we live in now, everybody's on their phones and tablets, and I think it's so important to actually pick up a physical book, be able to read it, learn how to write, learn how to use your imagination, and just I think it's super important.
Hyman has also written another sports-themed picture book called The Bambino and Me, and an action-adventure book, The Magician's Secret. Kids not only had a chance for reading time with the Oilers winger, they also walked away with a signed copy of Hockey Hero to bring home. And that's our show. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Woodman. CTV News continues right now.